Hey everyone, welcome to Gentle Yoga. My name's Katherine. Today we're going to need 2 yoga blocks or something that can function as 2 yoga blocks and a chair. So let's start in reclined cobbler's pose on our back. Have your blocks nearby. Bring the soles of the feet together as you lay down. Once you arrive, just take a moment and feel into the low back. If it's feeling kind of tense, lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. And sometimes just letting the knees hang wide open feels a little abrupt. Maybe the inner thighs are feeling particularly tight. If that's the case for you today, grab either block and just stuff them underneath the legs. So now you're supported. It's not such a big stretch. And then extend the backs of the hands onto the floor. If you like, you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And just feeling into how you're feeling today, physically, emotionally. And bring one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly. Take one more deep breath in, expand the chest and belly. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And greet yourself to your practice. Welcome, welcome. And then bring the palms together and start to rub the hands. Getting the palms nice and warm. And then gently lay the palms of the hands over your eyes. And feeling the contact that your hands are making with your eye sockets. Let the hands soften the eye sockets, all the tissue underneath. Let it relax. We take in so much through our eyes. And just take one more breath here, feeling the weight of your body on the floor. And then release. Extend your arms behind you. Extend your legs nice and long and give yourself a big morning stretch, maybe rolling the wrists and ankles if that feels good. Big breath in. And then gently collect your legs into your chest. Rock a little side to side. And remove your blocks if you've used them. Let the knees swing to the right as you open into a twist. Have your left arm behind you, kind of overhead. Inhale, extend the left arm overhead. And then with an exhale, swing the left arm to the left away from the body as your head turns to the left. Stay here for an inhale. Rest your eyes on your middle finger of the left hand. On the exhale, come out of the twist, knees back into chest. Inhale here. Exhale, second side. Extend right arm behind you. And if that hand doesn't touch the floor behind you, then swing it out to the right till it can touch the floor. Have your palm facing up. Take a big breath in here. And then exhale, swing arm to the right. That's your right arm swings to the right. Head turns to the right. Gaze at the middle finger of your right hand. On your next exhale, come on out of the twist. And then bring the hands, soles of the feet come together. Grab a hold of the outer edges of the feet coming into a floating cobbler's pose. Knees go wide. Feel the breath. If your hands can't reach the outer edges of your feet, you can always hold on to your ankles. And then from here, we're just going to play around with moving in and out of a traditional happy baby pose or moving that direction. So you could slowly start to extend one sole of the foot towards the ceiling and then the other. Maybe it doesn't make it all the way. And you'll see I'm holding on to my ankles. This would be if you can't reach the outer edges of your feet. If you can, then you would just extend. And so, we're actually not even trying to arrive at a happy baby. We're just simply exploring the hamstrings. We're exploring um, where we're feeling the stretch, the groin, perhaps. You might want to extend the legs a little bit, both soles of the feet towards the ceiling. What feels breathable? What feels healthy for you? Maybe there's some rocking that would feel nice. Let's take the next 2 or 3 breaths to experiment uh, with some kind of form of happy baby or floating cobbler's pose. Notice what's happening in your face and jaw. Good, and then you'll release feet to the mat, knees bent, little pelvic tilt. Exhale, press low back to the mat, front of the pelvis tilts towards face. Inhale, low back comes off the mat a little bit as the pelvis tilts away from the face, the front of it. And then just moving back and forth. Let these movements be as small or as big as feels healthy for you. And then find a neutral pelvis and extend your right leg towards the ceiling. Grab a hold of the back of the right leg or the right thigh in any way you can. Maybe the right knee needs to bend a little bit. That's okay. Or maybe the leg doesn't make it very vertical. That's all right too. But what I would like you to do is to reach through the heel of the right foot as you peel the toes back towards the right kneecap. If you can, have the hands in the back of the thigh. Create a wall for your thigh to press into. So it's like hands press to thigh, thigh presses to hands, reaching through that heel. Take one more breath here. Good. And then start to swing the right leg open a little bit. You can bend the right elbow and kind of prop up that right leg, reaching through the right heel. And then swing the leg back up towards the sky and just a few inches off to the left till you start to feel the outer right thigh light up, toes peeling back. Your left leg, you could straighten that left leg if that feels nice for you. And if it feels nice for you too, you might even want to swing over onto the left hip and kind of move more into a twist, opening the arms out to a T. I can't go very far. I've got this wall, but actually it feels pretty good pressing my foot into the wall. And with an open chest, maybe turning your head to the right if you've gone into the twist. And then wherever you are, you're going to bend your right leg, come back through center, bend left, and pause with a neutral pelvis. Feel your breath. Second side, extend left heel towards the sky, right? Or your variation of that. We just want to stretch the back of the left leg, the back of the left thigh. So again, please don't get attached to the angle that your leg's at. Rather, be interested in what is the quality of stretch in behind the left thigh. Reaching through the heel as you peel the toes back, feel your breath. And feel the weight of your head on the floor. You could even let your tummy soften here, letting the breath expand the tummy on the inhale, and feeling the weight of your bones on the exhale. Okay, and then briefly we'll open the leg out to the left. Let that left elbow rest on the floor to help prop it up. Keep reaching through the inner thigh, through the inner left ankle. Of course, that opposite leg sure can straighten out if you like. Reaching, reaching. Good, and then come on back through center. And then swing the leg just off to the right a few inches. So the back of your pelvis is going to remain on the mat for a couple breaths so we can feel what is often referred to as like the IT band stretch, right? But it's this area, the outer left hip. And this may be your jam. You may want to stay here. If you want to come along with me into a twist, kind of a free flowed twist here, arms are going to go left and right. I'm going to swing onto my right hip and swing the left leg across the body. My left leg is just hovering, doesn't make it all the way to the floor. I find that when it comes to the floor, like my SI joint hurts. So I'm just going to let it hover. Really, what, again, we're interested in is what is the quality of sensation in the back of the leg. What's the breath doing? Maybe the head turns to the left. Long waist. And then bend the left knee. Come on back through center. Both feet are on the mat. Thighs parallel, feet parallel. Prepare for bridge pose. And we're just going to come on up. Oh, actually, before we come to bridge pose, let's do something a little magical. We're going to grab a block on its thinnest setting and put it between the knees. If you don't have a block, a travel mug, like one of those metal ones, can be nice. Just something that you're gently holding in place. And then arms alongside the body. Feel all corners of the feet on the mat. Imagine like a really sweet person was tracing the outline of your feet lovingly. And you want to really like spread your feet out on the floor so that they can get a good outline. And then from here, keep your gaze on the ceiling and slowly, curiously lift the hips off the mat. Keep holding your travel mug or block. Feel the corners of the feet pressing into the floor with equal weight, best you can. And you want to keep some space for your throat. Maybe the chin is slightly pointing up. Not so concerned about how high you swing up the hips. Rather, are you breathing? Can you hold your block? Feel your feet? Let's take a couple more breaths here. We're strengthening the glutes, strengthening the hamstrings, and we're getting a little bit of a stretch on the tops of the thighs, perhaps. And then exhale, hips to the mat. Now let's come back into it and swing the arms up overhead. So inhale, sweep up, arms go back behind you if you can. Of course, if this doesn't work for you, maybe you got a forward frozen shoulder, you might just bring the arms out left and right. That's okay, but keep your gaze on the ceiling. And then on an exhale, hands stay back behind you, roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Pause here. Breathe into the stretch, perhaps in the collarbones, the chest. And slowly turn your head to the right. And slowly turn your head to the left. Good, and then come on back through center. One more time, lift the hips, bridge pose, gazing at the ceiling. Exhale, roll down the spine, arms return alongside the body. Remove the blocks. Once again, knees into chest, floating cobbler's pose or variation of it, soles to the feet together. Big belly breath in. Exhale, release the feet, roll to one side, and come on up in Sukhasana or cross-legged position. Forgot to mention this. You might need a blanket to prop yourself up if your legs feel kind of tight today, your hips feel tight, right? You would know that that was the case if you come to sit up and you're like, you can't really sit up, or maybe the knees are really high. Prop yourself up. Heck, you could even use a block if you were feeling pretty constricted. Right ankle in front of left. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, walk your hands forward, fold over crossed ankles. Now, rest your gaze on some point on the floor and let your eyes just blur. And feel your breath. And now slowly start to swing your trunk a little left, a little right. Take one more exhale. And then inhale, come on up. Once again, reach for your block. Place your feet on the floor in front of you, and I'm going to show you the side view, okay? And grab the flesh of your sits bones and just move it back behind you. For this one, you won't be on a blanket if you've used it. So come off your blanket and bring the block and bring it between the thighs. Hollow out your belly, particularly your low belly. Pull the low belly in. This is the area below the navel. And then imagine it could like jump on an elevator and right up to your heart. So kind of stuff the tummy up under the ribs. Lift your heart and just hold this block. So this is a core exercise, holding the block. Maybe extend the arms forward and keep your chest as broad as you can. One more inhale here. And exhale, left ankle on top of right, folding over legs, Sukhasana. Let the belly get soft now. Rest your gaze on something directly underneath your eyes. Soften and blur the eyes here. So it's said that the quality of the mind follows the eyes, and the eyes follow the quality of the mind. So if we can still the eyes and soften the eyes, we can help soften the mind. We can help still the mind. And then keep your resting gaze on the item that you're looking at. And then swing the trunk a little side to side. Feel your breath. With an inhale, come on up. Once again, we'll do this Navasana prep. The feet are on the floor. Hold your block. Hollow the belly. This makes all the difference. So really pull that low belly in. There's a slight lift of the pelvic floor. Maybe you're just hanging out here, just trying to hold the block and keep it open chest and a breath. As long as your tummy's in and you're feeling a little bit of work in the pelvic floor, a little bit of work in the low belly, awesome. Maybe you want to extend the arms forward. Don't lose the breath. And of course, if you want to come into full Navasana, if that's your jam, get it. Let's take 2 more breaths. Fabulous. And then remove the block. Cobbler's pose. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Soften your jaw, soften your gaze. Rest your eyes on something in front of your eyes. And then inhale and come on up. Okay, we're going to be doing some knee stuff. I'm going to have 2 tracks here. Folks who can't be on their knees, have a seat in your chair now. Those of you who can be on your knees, come on up to hands and knees. And if you haven't gotten a blanket yet, you might want to, particularly if you're doing hands and knees stuff. It's a nice thing to do for your kneecaps. So we're all going to do some cat-cow circles. So beginning by swinging the ribs to the right, right? And folks in the chair, you certainly can do this, right? Swinging the ribs to the right, and then rounding the back, send the hollow of the heart, and then swing ribs to the left, and then forward. Good. Let's do 2 more circles in that direction. Notice what your head's doing as you're doing this. And then go 3 circles opposite direction. And after you finished your 3rd circle, wherever you are, I'd like you to come into a variation of child's pose, some variation, right? So if you're on your hands and knees, go ahead, sit back. Knees can be together or apart. If you're in your chair, maybe you just walk forward, fingertips on the floor. If that feels kind of intense for you, you could rest on a block, maybe blocks on the floor. Right, so we're just breathing into the low back, releasing any tension in the low back area. Those of you on your hands and knees, if the knees are together, you'll be releasing low back tension more than if the knees are apart. But if you bring your knees apart, you can get a nice stretch in the inner thighs. So let's take about 2 more breaths wherever you are. Good, and then you will come up. Actually, those of you on your chair, you're going to come down onto your back on the floor, and I will get to you in just a moment. Those of you who are on your hands and knees, go ahead and turn towards the long edge of your mat, and I'd like you to step your right foot out to the right and standing up on left knee and right foot, right? So we're going to come into a variation of Gait Pose. Okay, those of you who don't want to do knee stuff today, you are simply going to come into banana. So stretching the left side of the body, walking the feet and arms to the right. Make sure that your pelvis is neutral, or perhaps you might even need to lengthen your tailbone towards the heels. And those of you on your knees, you're going to have to lengthen your tailbone towards your towards the mat too, probably. So inhale, reach the left arm towards the sky. Right hand can stay on hip. Turn your head to look at your left bicep. On an exhale, swing arm out to the left. Turn your head to look away. So that's to the right. Left palm will be up, facing up. And then inhale, beginning position. Gaze at that bicep. Exhale, turn away. So lengthening the tailbone towards the mat. Those of you in banana, please keep both sides of the pelvis on the mat. You want a nice equal stretch along the left side, a nice even stretch along the left side of the trunk, left side of the body. And then those of you in gait, what I'm doing, reach that left arm up, look forward, and then side bend off to the right to intensify the stretch. You can keep that right hand resting on the hip, or maybe grab a hold of left wrist and deepen the stretch. Last breath. Good, come on up, second side. Banana, second side. Gait, second side. Lengthen the tailbone towards the mat. And then right arm reaches up towards the sky if you're in gait. Turn the head to look at the right bicep. On an exhale, sweep arm out, turn head left. Your right palm will be facing the ceiling as it comes down. On the inhale, beginning position, gaze up bicep. A few more times like this. Really kicking whatever parts of the body are touching the floor, kicking them into the floor. Okay, last time reaching up and then side bending off to the left. Low belly pulling in, maybe you grab a hold of the wrist and side bend. Try to keep your pelvis neutral. Last breath. Good, come on up, release. Okay, your choice. You can either come into downward dog if you like downward dog, or you can come into chair downward dog, which I will demonstrate. So everyone's doing some form of downward dog. Step the feet back. And now your ankles are underneath your hips. Your toes are pointing forward and feel into it. Do you want to have your feet a little wider apart? Let it be a loose downward dog. What feels healthy this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're practicing? I don't know when you're watching this video, but take a deep breath and let it out. Good, we'll be here for about 4 or 5 more breaths. If you feel inspired to pedal the legs or move in some way, swing your hips, do it. Maybe you just want some stillness. Find something to rest your gaze on, directly below the eyes, and then blur the eyes, keeping them still as you breathe. Fabulous. Those of you in downward dog, walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Those of you with chair dog, walk your feet forward. And then we'll all roll on up to stand. Head's the last thing to come up. Take your time. And then take a look at your feet. Toes pointing forward. And once again, a very friendly, sweet person is lovingly tracing the outline of your feet. So do them a favor, press all the corners of your feet into the mat, maybe even lift the toes, extend them away from the feet, and then release them to the planet. And then feel into your feet. What does it feel like to be in your feet? You say your name to yourself, inhabiting your feet. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Rest your gaze on something eye level directly in front of you. Let the gaze blur. Keep the eyes still, tree pose. Shift the weight into the left foot. And then maybe you just bring the right heel to the ankle, avoiding locking the knees, low bellies in, lifting up out of the hips. Maybe the foot slides either below or above the knee. Feel your breath. Resting the gaze. And what's interesting, sometimes internal dialogue can come up, often balancing poses people don't like. Maybe you notice that, some like, oh brother, balancing pose, right? Good. Let's do the second side. Inhabiting your feet, feeling yourself in your feet. Eyes stay steady on something in front of you and soft. So often it's the things we don't want to do that might help us get a new perspective. Maybe the things that bring us frustration. A new perspective is so important, particularly when we're all kind of locked down in our houses, right? We can't really change what we do every day, but we can change our perspective. Good. Go ahead and return your left foot to the floor and reach down, find your block. Slide it between the thighs. And then just allowing your stance to change to make room for the block. Okay. Actually, yeah, it's going to be just above the knees. Maybe it's a travel mug, right? Soften the knees, inhabiting your feet, and then bend the knees and swing your arms forward on an inhale. On an exhale, stand up. Stay in your feet. Keep your gaze somewhere eye level. Right, and so I'll show you. So as I sit back, my rear goes back. Try to keep my knees generally kind of very close to being over my ankles. How low you go doesn't matter, but are your knees tracking forward? Are you able to hold that block? So you can keep moving for the next 5 breaths, or if you want to hold this variation of chair pose for any amount. Here's another pose that people don't like, right? So maybe even embracing the things that you don't care to do as a way to find inspiration, as a way to find a new way of looking at things. About 2 more breaths. And then on your next exhale, fold forward. You can release the block and use it to rest your hands on if you like. Gaze into the space between the thighs or knees. Let your head hang heavy and let the weight of your upper body traction the spine. Feel the breath, feel the weight in all corners of the feet. Knees can bend. 1 more breath like this. Let it out completely. Fabulous. Go ahead and roll on up. Mountain pose. Okay, folks who don't want to be on your knees, please have a seat on your chair. Those of you who are okay with being on the knees, if you do have a blanket, now's a good time to put it down in the center of the mat. We're going to be doing some lunges. So grab your blocks and bring them to either side of the front of your mat. Chair, folks, sit tight. You'll be doing the lunge in the chair. Inhale, we'll all sweep our arms up overhead. And exhale, fold. That goes for chair, folks, too. Fold down. On an inhale, step your left foot back and slowly lower the left knee. Good. Those of you in a chair, sit side saddle, step your left foot back. Okay. Okay, on an inhale, reach your arms up any amount. Neutral pelvis. Let's take another round or 2 of breath here. And if both arms overhead feels like too much for you today, maybe just left arm up. And of course, you're always welcome to have the hands on the blocks. Okay, now the left hand is going to come to the floor or a block just to the left side of the mat. We're going to give ourselves a lot of space. And you'll notice my left hand, I'm going to start with it just a little bit behind my right toes. Turn the left fingertips out away from the body. As I rotate, I spiral my inner upper arm away from the chest and then reach the right arm towards the sky. Okay, so you all will be in your revolved lunge on the floor. Those of you in the chair, got your left arm up, and then neutral pelvis, tummy in, bring both hands to the back of the chair. Lifted chest. Maybe turning the head to the right a little bit more. Last breath in. And then exhale, return the right hand to the block. Lift the back knee and step forward, forward fold. Those of you in the chair, sit regular style, folding over both legs. And then inhale, halfway up. Reach your heart away from your pelvis. Exhale, fold back down. On the next inhale, reach up, stand up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Rest your gaze, something eye level. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, step your right foot back now. Slowly lowering the knee. Folks in the chair, you get the jig, right? Sit side saddle to your left. Step your right foot back. Some of you may stay here, or maybe here. Neutral pelvises all around. Low belly in. Maybe even turning up the corners of the mouth. Breathing nice and easy. And those of you on the floor, you can have your back toe tucked or untucked. I find sometimes it feels good to be tucked, sometimes untucked. Just be purposeful on whatever you're doing with your back foot. One more inhale here. And then let's take it to the twist. So hand to a block, maybe to the floor. Spiral your inner upper arm forward and away from the body, drawing the shoulder blade onto the back. And the left arm reaches towards the sky. And chair folks, you know what to do. You're rotating hands to the back. Rotate to your left as well. Hands to the back of the chair. Be particularly interested in how long and vertical your spine is if you're in the chair, okay? And you might even need to lengthen the back of the pelvis towards the seat as well. Last breath in. And exhale, left hand to the block if you're on the floor. And then step forward, forward fold. Chair folks, sit regular style, facing forward. Let your head go. Half forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Extend your heart away from your pelvis. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, stand up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Feel your breath. Fabulous. Let's all meet on the floor, belly down. So come on down. You can remove your blankets if you're using one. Arms alongside the body. Forehead to the mat. Tops of the feet to the floor. We'll do a locust pose and then a cobra, then a locust, then a cobra. So I'll talk us through it. On an inhale, lift arms and legs, chest and head. On an exhale, return to the mat. Hands underneath shoulders. Keep your feet down as you lift your chest and head only. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Feel the strength of the legs. And with an exhale, return back to the mat. Relax completely as you bring your arms alongside the body. When your next inhale arrives, nice and slow, steady, lifting arms, legs, head. Right? And if you're feeling like there's like this jerk to come up, can you slow it down, right? Exhale, slowly coming down. Relax completely as you prepare for Cobra Pose, last one. On an inhale, just the chest and the head lifts. Tops of the feet to the floor, strong glutes. Fabulous. And then on an exhale, return to the mat. Let's all flip over. Arms are going to come alongside the body. Slowly draw the knees into the chest. On an inhale, extend your heels towards the sky. On an exhale, heels to the bum. Inhale, heels reach to the sky. Exhale to the bum. Good, keep doing that. And again, maybe it's something more like this, or maybe the knees don't completely straighten, no problem. We're just stretching out the backs of the legs like a cat stretches. And then we're gonna add the arms. So as the legs extend to the sky, inhale, sweep arms up and then back behind you. You are a L. Exhale, arms alongside the body, knees bend. Keep moving with your breath. Okay, next time you are the letter L, you're extending legs up, arms back, pause there. And rotate your palms so that they face each other. Reach, reach, reach through the fingertips, reach through the heel. Last breath. Good, release. Feet to the mat. So this next pose is called Jalen Darasana. It's a variation of it. You're going to extend your right leg long on the mat. And I want you to firm it up. Like imagine I'm going to ask you to like lift it. So it's like firm, it's ready, but it can stay resting on the floor. Your left hand is going to come behind your head as you draw your left knee into your chest. Hollow your low belly. If this is okay with your neck, lift your head and you're drawing your chin slightly towards your chest. I'm not cranking on my neck. I'm just kind of lifting it, right? Maybe this isn't a good fit for you. Maybe you just hang out like this. Totally cool. Okay. Keep breathing and extend your right arm forward. Hollow belly. Keep breathing, right? If you wanted to do more, you would lift that bottom leg, but you want to wait. You don't want to, if you feel like your stomach start to crunch up and get all tight and hard in the front, then bring the foot back to the floor and again, hollow out the belly. So imagine that you want the muscles really thin and strong across the belly. Last breath. And then release. Second side. Extend left leg long. Tone it up. It's ready to work. Right hand to the back of the head. Right knee to the chest. Hollow out low belly. Extend left arm. Keep breathing. Hollow low belly. Pelvic floor active. Let's take about 2 more breaths here. And release. Good, bend both knees, feet on the mat, thighs together, feet go wide, hands to tummy. Now let your tummy get real soft, big belly breath in. Open the mouth, let it out. Okay, let's roll over onto our side. Slowly come on up to a seat. We're gonna do Ardha Matsyendrasana variation, but I encourage you to do it with a foot on the wall if it's easily accessible. If it's not a big deal, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. I think it's pretty interesting to do this twist with one foot on the wall. So if you can't get with a wall, you're gonna extend your left leg long, right foot on the wall. Now I'm gonna be doing it a little off to the side because I think if I did it straight on, I don't think you could see me. So here's what I'm gonna do. You imagine I'm doing it straight on, right? Here I'm pushing my foot into the wall. And then I'm gonna bring my left foot to the outside of my left shin. Square out your pelvis. And now press right foot into the wall and press left ankle into the shin as you lift your heart up out of your pelvis. Get really tall. Inhale. Right arm reaches up. And then exhale. You can wrap the right hand over left knee if you like, or maybe bring it to the outside, just regular twist. But what's interesting about this variation is you're really active in the legs. You're really pressing the right foot into the wall. You're using this left ankle as like a lever to like press to help you twist. Turning head to the left, one more breath. And then untwisting. And let's do the second side. Left foot to the wall. Again, you're going to be straight on. I'm just doing this for, I don't know, so you can see me. Right foot to the outside of the left shin. Extend your left arm up overhead and exhale, move into the twist. Strong legs, very strong and active legs. Rotating heart and head and belly to the right. Chest lifting away from pelvis. Last breath. And then untwist. Okay. Once again, bring the feet out in front of you. Knees are bent. Walk your hands back behind you. Turn your fingertips away from each other and bend the elbows till you can wrap the shoulder blades behind you. So now they're kind of, the bottom edge of the shoulder blades are kind of pressing into the back of the heart. On an inhale, puff your chest up and then look up a little bit. You want to keep the back of the neck long as the throat opens. And then on an exhale, shrug your shoulders forward, round your upper back. And then on an inhale, back to it. Shoulder blades come onto the back, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, round. Now this might be really small. I like to do, this feels good. So my range of motion, I do this a lot. My range of motion may be bigger than yours, but just feel if you can notice. So the shoulder blades off the back. On the inhale, the shoulder blades are on the back. Open throat, open back of the neck. Exhale, hollow heart, rounded upper back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, and we'll pause here, open chest. Please go easy on yourself, particularly if you know you have a lot of shoulder stuff going on. You may even feel like you need to pass this, this one if that feels right for your body. You are your own teacher. Good. And then from here, extend your left leg long, Jani Sukhasana. Opposite what comes to the inseam of the thigh. This is a great time to sit up on a blanket if you need one. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over extended leg. Keep reaching the left toes back towards the kneecap. This would be an interesting one to do with your foot to the wall as well. So it's so interesting to different things you can do to keep awareness in your feet as you're moving through your practice. So talk about, learning more, gaining more new perspectives is shifting your awareness to different parts of the body as you go through maybe poses that you know really well, but you just focus on certain areas that you don't tend to focus on. Take one more breath. Good, and then inhale, come on up. Second side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Reach through the heel to peel the toes back. Reaching your heart towards the right foot. Last round of breath. And then come on up. Bend the knees, both feet on the mat. Walk your hands back behind you. Once again, draw shoulder blades onto the back. Lift the chest, gaze forward. So you want the neck open, the back of the neck open, the throat open, the back of the neck open. Spread your fingers wide and inhabit your entire hand, both entire hands. Like be in it, in your hands, in your feet. What's that feel like to be inside? So not just simply aware of them, but inhabiting them. And then from here, pads of the fingers pressing into the floor, pads of the toes pressing into the floor, the heels. Maybe you pause here and just pop the chest a little bit more, feel the stretch in the arms. Maybe you might like to come into a little bit of a reverse plank, right? So this is a gentle class. I want to invite you to go into whatever pose feels most gentle, most healthy for your body. If you want to come into reverse plank, please do it. Let's take one more round of breath. Good, and then come on out of it. Soles of the feet together, cobbler's pose. Sit nice and tall, and then bring the heels as close to the groin as feels healthy. Sitting nice and tall. And then bringing your gaze to something eye level in front of you, resting your eyes on something. We're so affected by what we take in through our eyes, what we take in through our senses. It's like a direct link to our brain, a direct link to our consciousness. That's why it's so important to really consider, how does what we take in through the senses on a daily basis, how does it affect us? How do we feel? Right? Like I know, like for me, how do I feel when I've been like scrolling on Instagram for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something, right? What's it like for me after I get off? Or particular shows. What shows on Netflix are you watching? How do you feel? What kind of dreams do you have when you go to bed after watching particular shows? It's like direct input into your brain. Soften your belly. Take one more breath. Good. And then let's come onto our backs. Have your blocks nearby. Arms alongside the body. Let's do one more bridge pose. Gaze to the ceiling. Lengthen your tailbone towards your legs. Reach your knees away from your heart. Reach your heart away from your knees. Grab a hold of the edges of your mat and walk your shoulder blades together behind you as you open the throat and the back of the neck. Gaze to the ceiling. One more breath. Good, and then exhale, release back to the floor. If you like, you could stuff a block under either knee if that feels good. We're moving towards Shavasana. So just resting here for a moment. And we're going to do a little eye exercise. So without moving your head, slowly look to the right as far as you can look. Come back through center. Don't move your head and slowly look to the left. Eyes, just eyes, roll to the left. That's how powerful your eyes are. Your whole head wants to move. Good, come back through center and look up. Just eyeballs. Back through center and then look down. Back through center. Good, and then look to the left and slowly roll the eyes down. Slowly roll the eyes to the right. Slowly roll the eyes up and back to the left. Slowly look to the right Slowly roll the eyes down, to the left, up, and to the right. Come back through center. Bring the palms together, rub the hands really, really, get them really, really warm. Close the eyes and very gently rest the hands on the eye sockets so that the fingers are kind of spread out on the forehead, and you're just feeling the heels of your hands just gently rest on the top ridge of your cheekbone. Feel the darkness, feel the softness. And then I'd like us to do 3 ohms and see if you can feel the vibration in your sinuses as you do this. Exhale completely to prepare. Inhale. So hit a note that vibrates right in the sinuses. Last one. And then keeping the eyes closed, rest the backs of the hands to the floor, breathing. Shavasana. If you can take a little longer in Shavasana and would like to, please do. If you need to move on with the rest of your day, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then taking a big morning stretch. Collect your knees into your chest. Rolling to one side. Using your arms to help yourself up. Try to let your head be the last thing that comes up. So your head's nice and heavy. Let yourself be soft and still as you come up. Bringing your palms together in front of your heart. If you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone special in your life, think of this being now, see their face clearly. And imagine that you could dedicate any good feelings, any awareness, any relaxation to this special being. And you would send it out on an exhale. So let's take a breath in and send it out. You see this person relaxed, present, aware, curious about how Their experience and their external experience, what they take in through their senses, affects how they feel. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.